Raghav, and thank you for giving such a wonderful presentation. Sir, I'd like to know that what is the scenario in India as far as vocational and skill training in schools and colleges are concerned?
So today there are three programs that are running across schools and colleges, three in each sector. The first is a traditional one in the schools, which is the 10,000 vocational schools that existed where they were introducing only vocational education. The second is the introduction of vocational programs by CBSE and other boards that were there. The third, and which is actually integrating these two and being spread out across the country, is where it was known as the NVQF, National Vocational Education Qualification Framework, and now known as the NSQF under the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship in partnership with the Ministry of HRD, where we're introducing skill development in classes 9, 10, 11 and 12 in different states across the country. There are two models that are operating. Some states are doing it on their own. In a majority of states, NSDC is partnering with the state government to introduce training partners and get set up labs and get people skilled and trained. Two very recent examples are in Haryana and Himachal Pradesh, where school children who have actually passed out of 12th and not wanting to continue higher education have got jobs of up to 15,000 rupees a month based on the skills certificate that they've got. In a few instances, when the student has not even passed 12th but passed the skills certificate, he's actually got a job in, let's say in the retail sector, he's got a job as a cashier, and that itself is paying him some 12 to 13,000 rupees a month. So this is the school space. In the colleges space, the AICTE has set up community colleges, and they have the skill knowledge providers. The University Grants Commission has set up community colleges and got the BVOC program going on. And NSDC is partnering them to deliver training institutions who deliver skill development programs in the community colleges, or does the assessment and certification in both the school and college programs according to the 1339 NOSes, QPs, qualification packs that have been created by the 28 sector skill councils. In addition, in the higher university space, if you take Delhi University or take Pune University, students are getting an add-on course on the payment of fees, where they get an assessment and a certification from the SSC, and that helps them to get jobs. For example, in Delhi University, a batch of Dayal Singh College students did banking and financial services course, and some of them have even got placed in global consulting companies with decent annual packages. So this is what is happening in the school and in the university and college space. NSDC hopes to double the number of states this year and take the number of universities and colleges to at least 3 times.
So which are the focus states that this year you'll be looking forward to?
No, so we would like to actually, currently Himachal and Haryana have very robust programs. West Bengal, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Maharashtra, Punjab, for example, we would now be rolling it out in much more, I think Rajasthan, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana are the other areas that we are looking at. It varies from the state to state and the responsiveness of the state school education system going forward. In universities, we're looking at a lot of private universities to enlarge our footprint under the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship going forward.
Okay. So how is this difference vis-a-vis developed countries? The difference?
So there are three things which are happening in India currently. So far, the age at which a person is introduced in the skill development space in India was significantly higher than the other countries. For example, some states even don't want their people to be exposed to the automotive trade because you're introducing skills at the age of 14. But abroad, 12 and 13 years and 14-year-olds are actually going to automobile companies and also learning on the job there. The second is the percentage of people that actually get skilled within the country. India, as the Honorable Minister keeps mentioning, that we have 2 to 5%, and in South Korea is 96%. there. So the percentage of people who go through this system. The third difference was we did not have a kind of a transfer system between the vocational space and the education space in the country. Abroad they have this going forward. We are moving towards that in India. Of course, finally, many states have a restriction on the number of people who can go into higher education, and per se they need to go in for vocational education. We don't have that restriction in India, and it's not necessary that restriction is good, but since you asked for what is the difference, I'm just sharing this with you.
And what are the stumbling blocks as far as vocational and skills training in schools and colleges are concerned?
See, there are four challenges for the skill development space in the country. The first is that there is no aspiration. Okay. The second is that the capacity in the country did not exist. In 2008, there was only 3.1 million capacity. It's only the last 5 years that we've been able to scale up this capacity, and last year reach, let's say NSDC itself reached 3.34 million here. But if you have to train 500 million people or 50 million people a year or 22 million people a year, we have to double or treble this capacity which is there. The third is that there's a huge thing about tracking for jobs, because 93% of the jobs in India are informal. We have a huge entrepreneurship base. And the challenge that we have to face as a country is that every training lead to a job. If that's so, then we are restricting ourselves for the number of jobs and entrepreneurship opportunities. That means we'll have a lot of people in the system who won't be skilled, will be unskilled, uneducated. Or do we have skilled people and educated people, and then empower them to get a job all over the world? And the fourth challenge was we did not have standards, right? Now, of course, we have 1,339 qualification packs, but industry has to recognize these standards, has to say that they will give preference to these to the people who have been certified by them, and then the whole ecosystem coming in place and creating a pull will address the other three things going forward. So the biggest challenge is employers just do three things. One, participate in the creation of the National Occupation Standards and QPs. Second, say that anybody who wants to intern with us or interview with us or join us needs to have a skills certificate. And third, if a skilled person joins them with that certificate, to either fast track his confirmation or then give him a commitment that if he demonstrates the level of productivity and the attitude that is required in the job, they will refund the training spent to him or give him an incentive equivalent to the amount that he spent on training.
So what are the other future initiatives or the future vision of NSDC now?
So this year we want to add on another 120 partners. We already have got, since we're down the road. We'll add on 7 new sector skill councils. For all the 37 sector skill councils approved so far, we would hope to get 80% of the job roles mapped here. But the biggest thing is executing and implementing the PMKVY, the Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, across the country that delivers 1.4 million or 14 lakh new people certified on the e-governance platform that I just talked about, and 1 million or 10 lakh people who have certificates based on recognition of prior learning. And then we got to simultaneously prepare for our overall target of 6 million, and let's say maybe a higher target next year.
Thank you so much, sir, for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.